Hey, what's up? Today I want to give you an example about a question that often arises when we do Swift development. It's when we have a group of constants, should we group them together using an enum or using static properties? So to answer the question and see what are the upside and downside of each approach, we are going to see two examples. So let's see the first example. So here you can see I have a first set of constants and they are the order status that an order can have in an e-commerce app. And we want to group them together. So should we use an enum or should we use a static? In this case, I'm going to argue that we should use an enum. So let me put all the values in an enum and then I will explain my choice. So why did I choose to group this constant together using an enum? It's because this way the compiler will be able to check for exhaustivity whenever I use the enum. So let's write a function that is going to take as its argument an order status. And now let's say that I want to switch over the status. So the first nice thing is that I can automatically generate all of the possible cases. So now I'm going to put a break in each case just to keep things simple for this example. And the nice thing with this switch statement is that the compiler is actually checking for exhaustivity, meaning that if by mistake I am not handling one of the possible cases, where we are going to see a compiler error telling me that the switch case must be exhaustive. And of course, this feature is already useful when I write the switch statement, but the real added value is that let's say that I introduce a new case. So I'm just going to call it foo because I have no inspiration on the spot. And you're going to see that I'm going to have a compiler error because indeed, once that my enum has been updated, the compiler is able to check that this existing switch statement is now no longer exhaustive. And the compiler is going to force me to deal with a new case to make sure that I haven't forgotten about it. So it's a super useful feature of an enum. And basically, whenever you have a set of constants that you can group together and you're not going to need to add new values later in an extension, you should use an enum. Another bonus also is that using an enum, you can use a row value. So a row value, it uses the protocol row representable. If you've never heard about it, there is a link displaying at the top of the screen and you can go check about it. What you need to know is that you can set a row value right here and then provide the values using this assign statement. And what's nice is that we can access this row value using the property row value on any instance of the type order status. So we can still manipulate the string, but with the added benefits that now we actually have a type that is more precise, we could say, than just using a string, meaning that in this function, I'm not saying that I accept any string, I only accept a value of type order status, meaning that I will only be able to output one of these 4 strings. So it's a great way to add some type safetiness to your code. Now let's remove this code and see another set of constants. So here you can see I have pasted a set of constants and this time it's localized keys. So meaning is the key to string that are going to be localized once the app is executed, and it's the title for several screens of the app. So this time, should we use an enum or should we use static var? Well, as you can imagine, since I said there will be only 2 examples, this time we will use static vars. And the reason for it is that this time it doesn't really make sense to check for exhaustivity because of course we know that in our app we will add new screens at a later time and maybe we're going to want to add new keys using an extension. So let me first put this constant together using a static var. Okay, it's done. So you can see that now my constant, well, first they are still constant because I've put them using a static let and not a static var like I said by mistake before. And they are now grouped inside this type called localized keys, meaning that if I want to access one of the constant, well, I can do it like this. So localized keys dot home screen title. And what's even nicer is that if at a later time I need to add a new localized key, let's say for instance that I have added a new screen, so called the about screen, something like this, well, you see that I can declare this new constant using an extension. And it would make a lot of sense when you have a struct like localized keys to add new values using an extension, because this way you don't have a single file that contains all the localized keys of your app. It wouldn't really make sense and the file would be way too big, but instead you can split all the constant across several files, maybe one file per screen or one file per big feature of your app, and this way things will be much more manageable. variable, and you can use this extension mechanism in order to add new constant to the type. Now, of course, on the other hand, we no longer have this property of the compiler being able to check for exhaustivity, but it's not really a problem here because it doesn't really make sense. For instance, there shouldn't be a use case where we need to do a switch over all of the possible home screen titles. Usually what we do is that we take the constant and we use them as an input to an SOK string. So having lost this ability is not a real problem in this case. Now, if you have some experience with Swift, you might be thinking that we can still instantiate the type localized keys, even though it doesn't make a lot of sense to do it. So indeed, it doesn't make sense to do it. And so what we like to do in these cases is to actually make the init of the type private. This way, no one can instantiate the type, and it really shows that this type is actually only a namespace. And as it turns out, in Swift, there is even a way to do this that is even more idiomatic than using a private init, is to actually take this struct and turn it into an enum. So it might seem a bit weird to do things like this, but actually, if you use an enum and you provide no cases and only static lets or static var, well, it's the same thing than using an enum as a namespace. And it might sound weird, but actually, the Swift standard library itself is using this pattern sometimes. So it's perfectly legal and even we could say idiomatic to do things this way, even though at first glance, it might seem a little weird. And that's all for this video. I really wanted to discuss this topic because whether we should use an enum or static let, it's really a choice that we have to make when we develop in Swift, and sometimes it can be a little bit confusing which way we should go, so I really wanted to provide you with these pointers to help you make your decision. Now, maybe you actually disagree with what I said, and if that's the case, well, please make your argument in the comment, and I would be super interested to read them and discuss them with you. Thank you for watching this video, and see you next time.